If you look at Danny Ainge and the Celtics, they had all the pieces that they needed to make that big swing for Anthony Davis, but they did not pull the trigger. And the thinking is they didn't get it done because they think that Kyrie Irving is gone. I mean, it does make sense, right? Given that he declined his player option for next season and that everything seems to point to him going to Brooklyn. And then there was the report yesterday that the Celtics might meet with Kyrie before the draft this week. Then came another report. And honestly, this is one of my favorite Kyrie Irving related reports ever. Like, if you were to ask me once again, my 10 favorite stories over the past 10 years in sports, Kyrie is probably in half of them. Check out this beauty. Reading to you directly from the Boston Globe, quote, "The strangest part of the Irving situation right now is that it appears he has essentially ghosted on the Celtics. The people within the organization I've spoken with have made it clear they have had little, if any, communication with Irving in recent weeks." End quote. Bam! That is so good. In other words, Kyrie, the friendly ghost, friendliest ghost you know.
The friendliest ghost you know, skin horribly bright, pasty white.
Kyrie, the friendly ghost. Kyrie Irving ghosting the Celtics. That's one of the best things ever. Throwing around the phrase on brand is pretty fashionable right now. But is there anything more on brand than Kyrie ghosting his team? Well, actually, there is. Because it's the same Kyrie Irving who said back in October, and I quote, "I shared it with some of my teammates, as well as the organization and everyone else in Boston. If you guys will have me back, I plan on re-signing here next year." End quote. Then he talked about how, quote, "I have every intention of signing with Boston next year. I do have a dream of putting my number 11 in the rafters one day, if I'm so blessed to do that. I've worked my tail off. Obviously, a lot of great players have come before me, but to throw my name in Boston Celtics tradition and history is something I'm glad I can do, and I'm planning on doing so." He went on, quote, "Honestly, thinking about starting over was just a bleepy thought. Honestly. It just was like, man, I do not want to move again. I do not want to uproot my family and just be dealing with everything new again. No disrespect to other organizations, but here was a perfect fit." End quote. Now remember, this is a guy who forced his way out of Cleveland 1 year after winning a championship because he did not want to play second fiddle to LeBron. Then he gets to Boston. Then he gets hurt. Then he watches them go to the conference finals without him. Then he comes back. Then he makes them worse. And now he's ghosting them altogether. I mean, this is absolutely awesome. One of the all-time great arcs ever, even for that flat earth truther. I mean, not only would it appear he's not going to stay like he said he would repeatedly, not only is he apparently going to leave, but he's ghosting them altogether. Like reportedly ignoring all communication, not handling it in any way like a pro or even an adult. Like nearly every athlete that I've ever known has said the same thing about coaches and management and ownership. Just shoot me straight. Just be straight up with me. I'm a big boy or a big girl. I can deal with bad news. Look me in the eye and give it to me. Treat me like a pro. Virtually every athlete that I know and have ever known feels that way, except apparently Kyrie, who, if this report is to be believed, is nowhere to be found. You can't find what you can't see, and you can't see a ghost. In other words, Kyrie, the friendly ghost, friendliest ghost you know.
Friendliest ghost you know, skin horribly bright, pasty white.
Kyrie, the friendly ghost. And for all you oldsters, and if you're not following this, let me help you out. The famous UD, Urban Dictionary, defines ghosting as, quote, "when a person cuts off all communication with their friends or the person they're dating with zero warning or notice beforehand. You'll mostly see them avoiding friends' phone calls, social media, and avoiding them in public." end quote. Perfect definition, as always, from the UD. Second definition includes this line, quote, many attempt to justify ghosting as a way to cease dating the ghostee without hurting their feelings, but in fact proves the subject is thinking more of themselves, as ghosting often creates more confusion for the ghostee than if the subject kindly stated how he or she feels, end quote. So in this case, Danny Ainge is the ghostee and Kyrie is the ghoster. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you probably go check the ghoster's social media for hints. Maybe he's going to leave some hints there, right? Well, let's do that. Let's check out Kyrie's Instagram. The latest post is an edited package of clips, which includes a lot of different people talking about him. And then Kyrie talking about how he has shied away from social media. Because nothing says you've shied away from social media like a heavily and elaborately produced video package and an elaborate post on social media about how you're shying away from social media. And one that comes with a very long quote from Mother Teresa. So that's really not going to help Ainge. Then there are a couple of posts about his family, and then this one. Quote, Hermetic Friends, Inc., my light brothers and sisters, the age of no more secrets is upon us. World peace will be achieved in our lifetime, and we better bleep and believe it. Let them have the fabricated bull bleep. That genuine love and energy spreads all over the world. I see all. I am. End quote. Man, that is an absolute masterpiece. That is the Mona Lisa of social media posts from a guy who is shying away from social media, putting out just a bunch of words and thinking it's profound. Like just tossing up that word salad, saying, look at me, I'm profound. I mean, this is the guy who wants to be a leader of a team. This is the guy who wants to be the face of a franchise. And he's forced his way off one team after another. And this time, he's ghosting his way out. Man, that is awesome. Truly awesome. And absolutely, without doubt, 100% on brand. Oh, and awesome. Kyrie, just do you. Man, just do you. Just know this. Don't think for a second that anybody is fooled by this or impressed by it, but just do you. In the meantime, for the rest of you, all together now, Kyrie, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. Kyrie, the friendly ghost. Have fun with that, Brooklyn. He's your ghost now. Allegedly. He's ghosting the Celtics. The same Celtics that he talked about ending up in the rafters with. Now, my man's the best.